from LOCH BRIAR KNITS, coming to you from a very sunny, so warm, like it's over 0. Post-winter storm, first day of spring. So it's March 20th, right? Yeah, 20th. And I'm coming to you from Nova Scotia, Canada. I don't know if I said that. Anyway. So welcome to all the new and returning viewers. Thanks so much for coming here for the first time and checking us out, or coming back for multiple times and checking us out. Well, actually, you wouldn't be checking us out because you kind of know what you're in store for. And still you come back. So I'm trying to put sock on sock blockers here, so because I'm not prepared. It's like about, I think, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I usually podcast in the morning, but I sat down this morning. I should have podcasted this morning while my husband was out at the schooner house just checking things out, but I sat down and, oh, now I got something in my eyeball. This is rough. We're off to a great start. I sat down and thought, I'm just going to knit for a few minutes, and then, 3 hours later. Yeah. You know what? It was one of those mornings where I just wanted to sit on the couch and drink my coffee, watch some podcasts, and knit. And so that's what I did, because it's Saturday, and I don't have to do anything but what I want to do on Saturday. That's the rule. I'm not drinking tea today. I'm trying to get my water in. First off, what am I wearing today? I'm wearing my Rachel sweater, which I don't wear a whole lot. This is from Jose Paquin, who's You and I Knits. I love this sweater. And it fits really well, and it's so incredibly soft. The yarn I used was a Barocco. Oh, I forget the name now. I think it's on my project page in Ravelry. It was a while ago. But the yarn is really drapey, and I almost felt, because, let me see if I can show you this. And I just took, it's been, you can tell, let's see if I get back a little here, that it's kind of wrinkly. So, but I don't know if you can see if it's showing, but it's just got this like garter stitch, and then sort of like broken rib detailing like along here. I think you can see that. I don't know, my glasses on, so I'm not entirely sure. And then it kind of comes to here, and then that's just like stocking net stitch, but it goes around the side. But the reason I don't wear it a whole lot is just that the yarn is almost too drapey, I think, for the structure of the sweater. I'm trying to move my chair in. So I just find, sorry, I'm freaking with my hair a lot because I washed it this morning and now it feels very floopy, and it keeps like doing this. As usual, right? Like, oh, so it's every other day, right, Kelly? Okay. Try to kick it back there. So yeah, so I love the yarn. It's super soft, but I think just to kind of show like the structure and the detailing of the sweater, it would have been better if I had used something, I think, with a bit more structure and a bit more stitch definition. But I got it on today. I'll use it for like, this is one of my kicking around on the weekend sweaters. I get all dressed up for you. But I thought I haven't worn it for a while. So I toss it on. Anyway, we have 2 finished objects today. And one is over there, and my lights are in the way. So this is going to be... I did not think ahead on this. Oh, come to me. Okay, so the first, I had mentioned last episode that I had forgotten to bring with me, and that was my habitation shawl, or throw, which I made much larger than was called for. So it's, I don't even know how we're going to do this. Here's like this, I have it folded in half, so it looks like a triangle right now. Here we go. And then, oh, here we go. And then here we go again. It's really like a blanket. So, see if I can. So it's like this wide on, I think, the narrow end. Or no, is it a square or is it a rectangle? No, I think it's more a rectangle. Yeah. So yeah, it's, I'm gonna regret doing this. Da-na-na-na. And da-na. So, it's big. And it's done. It's done. This was probably, I probably picked away at this for, I think 2 years, give or take. I think it was probably about 2 years. I had this on the needles. And then I would just kind of, I would go in spurts. Like I would pick it up and then I'd get addicted to it. And then I'd be like, okay, I got to put this down. I want to knit a sweater. And then it was almost like what I used for a bit of a palette cleanser between bigger projects, like sweater projects kind of thing. So yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I am very glad. I'm very glad to have it off the needles because I told myself that I couldn't cast on the half and half wrap by Pearl Soho until I get this off the needles because it's another kind of big blanket thing. So I actually want to make another one of these and I want the one that that I make next of this to be all LOCH BRIAR KNITS yarn, which is my hand-dyed yarn company. Some of the ones in here are definitely like this one here is mine. That's I think the shut the barn door. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. This one here is mine. I think this was Kill All the Pretty, and that was in the Stellina base, which I don't carry anymore. This was my first version of Lavender Fields. That was Teal It Like It Is. This was 212, which was my birth time, so that was my birthday thing. This was one I did, but I don't remember. I think it was just like a tester one that I had done. So yeah, so there's lots of, it's a mix basically of leftover sock yarn and project yarn, and then some of my own thrown in. But for the next one I do, I think I'm gonna have it be all of my own yarn, and I'm going to get in the habit of when I do colorways, especially when I do new colorways and stuff like that, I need to start keeping a skein out for myself because I want to be able to knit a swatch of it so that in the shop I can kind of show like, here's what it looks like knit up. So I have started doing that. I've got like earth here, which I have some of that in the shop, so I need to get that knitted up. This one is not in the shop. But it's not in my shop, but it's at darnyarn.ca. They have some of this. I think they still have some left. This one was Spruce Grove. This one I kept for myself just because there was a spot on it that I felt was just a little too faded. It's a tonal, but there were like a couple spots that were just a little too faded, so I kept that one for myself. So I want to start doing like swatches, or just knitting myself up socks and then taking a picture of it to go with the colorway, so that when you're looking in the shop of the colorways, you can kind of see like what it looks like. That's a long explanation. I need water. So anyway, let's get going, because my husband is watching a documentary upstairs in the bedroom, and I told him I would try to keep it to under an hour. So he feels like, well, he doesn't feel like it. Once he's watching the documentary, he's into the documentary, he doesn't care. But I feel like I'm keeping him like captive in one section of the house. Don't leave this room for an hour. I don't actually say that. I just say don't come downstairs for now. I'm in the basement right now. Anyway, this is blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so that was my one finished object, the habitation throw. The other finished object is I finished my Cosmic Strings socks. Oh, look at these. I love these. I haven't worn these yet. I've had them upstairs saying, don't put them on until you podcast. Because I'm really hard on my socks. So these are nice and new. So this is knit out of Cosmic Strings. This was a yarn that I bought when my husband and I went to Edinburgh, Scotland. And which may be pretty much one of my absolute favorite places in the world. And the colorway was Shoreditch. So I absolutely love this yarn. Like I love how it just kind of comes down on an angle. And I did the Eye of Partridge heel flap gusset. And just, I don't know, I did like about, I think one sock's probably a little higher than longer than the other from looking at it this way. Can you see? I do that all the time. I mean, I don't notice when I'm wearing it. It's like, but I was just like, I don't know, every single time. So anyway, that's my other finished object. So now that I can start wearing those, put them into rotation, because I have about, I think, 3-4 pairs of socks that are on their way out. They're like threadbare. And I don't have a huge hand knit sock collection. I probably have about maybe 12 pair, and 4 of those are like on their last legs, no pun intended. And there's probably 2 more that are kind of close behind them. So I really need to amp up my sock game this year, just to replace the ones that by the end of the year are probably going to be gone. There's a couple that I'll be surprised if they make it another month. But so I've got these ones, and let's stick those right there. And then, because those were done, I cast on another pair, and I'm almost on the first sock. So these are knit out of Knit Picks Felici sock, and this is Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbow. Look at that. Okay, but look how this knits up, because this is awesome. There we go. See if that. So look, it's so pretty. And again, it's like when you're knitting anything that's self-striping, it's just like you're knitting it and you're like, just one more row, one more row, one more row. And I have to say, I think the orange here, because orange is my favorite color. It's my favorite color. But I really love this shade of blue. And then I love chartreuse. I look horrid in chartreuse, but I can do it in small little splotches. My feet, it's not going to matter. I couldn't wear a chartreuse sweater. I would literally look like death warmed over. Seriously, it would not be pretty. So that's just, again, straight up vanilla sock, same Eye Partridge heel. And I'm on the foot part now. All the gusset shaping and all that is done. So it's just straight. I don't know how many. I'm going to say we're on the chartreuse. I think by the time I get to the red, I'll be ready to shape for the toe, and then it might end in the orange. I'm guessing. I could be way off. No, I think that, no, I think that's about right. I think so. Let's find out. Tune in next week. So that is my Alex Collins bag. I have 2 of her bags. I love them. I'd love to get some more. Somebody on Instagram was asking me where the bag was from. So I'll just put her thing down below. Her bags are beautiful. So that is project number 1. So the knit a sweater in 2 weeks, Cal, is still ongoing. And I'll put my glasses on for this so I can see what I'm doing. And I took a little bit of a break from, I can see the lights here glaring in my eyeball. I did take a bit of a break from knitting. Not like, not completely. I would just do a little bit. But because I was still having like some soreness in kind of this area here and a little bit like here. And I think it was just, I was clenching, like I was holding on to my needles really tightly. I don't know why. I'm usually pretty like relaxed knitter, not like loose knitter. I think my gauge is, I usually hit gauge. So I would say like from that perspective, I'm just kind of a steady knitter, but yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I was just clenching. Must have been a bad week. So I was just going easy because I didn't want to end up overdoing it. The other thing that could be is that when I was doing my first sweater for the Cal, I was going like hardcore knitting just to see if I could get it all done in 14 days, which I did, but my hand was really sore at the end of it. So I think it's probably just a little bit of holdover from that. So I'm gonna take my glasses off just because the light's glaring in it, and I stick them back on if I need them. So this is my second entry into the knit a sweater in 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to have this done by the March 31st deadline. And I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it and then, you know, like hurt my hand and not be able to knit. So I'm just kind of taking it easy. That being said, this is what I was knitting on for about 3 hours earlier. So, but this is knit out of Wool of the Andes, and this is the Heather, I forget, what's this one called? Amber Heather. So it's this really nice burnt orange color. So I'm gonna I was trying to get it down to where I split for the sleeves because I thought it would be easier to show you guys. So let me just get it all unfolded here. So this is one thing. Look how wide the neck on this is. Like, that's crazy wide. And I know when I look at the picture, like you can see in the drawing, it goes like wide. So I'm not too worried about it. But at first, before I looked at the picture, I was like, oh my God, that's like crazy wide. But this one was wide too. So it's just, it's fine. But I did have a bit of a heart attack when I first saw it because I was like, oh, what did I do? Why is it so wide? So it's going to be fine. So right now, I don't know how best to show you this. Let me just get this down. So I have now split for the sleeves, so you can kind of see. This is, I'm like, I'm really bad at modeling things, aren't I? Okay, here we go. So you can see here, like going down here, you can see kind of the detailing. Actually, might be able to see it better here because it's a little flatter. Yeah, this shows it better. And this is the front. Yeah, so I'm down. I've just split. I've split for the sleeves. I split for the sleeves and then put them on the waist yarn, and then I knit one round and just got the stitch markers put in the right place, because there's the chevron detailing which happens in between these two markers on each side. So the chevron, basically right now I'm just doing stocking knit, except for in those in between those two markers on each side, I do the chevron detailing, which will come like down here. So it's a 14 row repeat, and it's 14 stitches as well. I think it's 14. Yeah, it's 14. It's 14 rows and also 14 stitches. And it's pretty straightforward. It's just like knit purl, but I know me. I'm going to, she's got kind of like, I don't want to show it because it's a paid for pattern, but she's got it written out. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to write it out on graph paper, and then I'm going to have to check the rows as I go, because otherwise I'm going to set it down and I'm going to come back and I'm not going to be able to figure out where I am. And I'm not going to lie, there's like kind of half of me going, let's just skip the chevron detail because that's going to be hard. And it's not hard. The hard part is just going to be trying not to lose my place and mess up the pattern. And the other part of me is like, well, if you mess it up, it's like under your arm. Who's going to see? And then there's the other part of me. I have a lot of parts, apparently. The other part of me that's like, well, if it's just under your arm, like, do you really need to do it? I don't know. I haven't actually started. The next row is where I would have to start it. I don't know. But on the other hand, I'm kind of like, well, you can't keep always doing simple things. Like, you got to sort of grow. So that's what another part is saying. So that's the stowaway. I think I forgot to say what it was. Stowaway, chevron, no, castaway, chevron. Oh my God, really? I looked at it right before we came down, and then I was like, wait, what was the first one of hers I knit? It's by Marie Green, who is Olive Knits. And it's in her book, Knit a Sweater in 2 Weeks. Which I didn't bring down. I'm pretty sure this is the stowaway chevron sweater. I'll put it down here. So since I finished my habitation throw, I was allowed, I allowed myself to cast on the Purl Soho half and half wrap. So I'm sure most people have heard about this because it's, well, see how far I can stretch this out without knocking it off the needles. There we go. there's a lot of people knitting it, and Caddy Jacks are doing, I think it's a year-long knit along. I'm not sure when it started. It was sometime last year I think it started, but I think it's still going on. So it's quite long. There's two sizes you can do. I think the first size is you cast on 190 stitches, and then the larger size you cast on 260. And I was thinking, well, you know, go big or go home. So I cast on 260 stitches, which wasn't as onerous as I thought it was going to be, but it's a free pattern. Basically, all you do is you cast it on, and then you start doing wrap and turns to start to create, like you'll notice on this end, it's like straight down, and on this end where you do the short rows, it's kind of more triangular. So that's just what's going to give you, because eventually when you have the two colors all and it's all finished, I think it would be a square, and then you would fold it triangle, and one triangle would be one color, one triangle would be the other color. I don't think I brought the pattern down with me, but I didn't print off the pattern, the picture anyway, because it took a lot of printer ink. I didn't feel like wasting printer ink. So anyway, I decided I wanted to do this in gray and red. Now, this is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in their Barn Door Heather colorway, but it's going to be 1/2 gray and then 1/2 red. So I'm using up stash yarn, because I thought this would be a great way to use up some stash yarn that has been sort of languishing in my, well, there's probably a lot of stash yarn languishing in my area here, but this I have had, I don't know how long. It's a fingering weight. It's very soft, so I'm guessing it's probably superwash merino. It's gray. That's all I know about it. I had caked it up. I had thrown away all of the ball bands. This was back when I knit, but I wasn't in like knitter with a capital K. So I was just kind of getting back into knitting, and I was, as you do, buy yarn left, right, and center. Pretty. I'm going to knit this right away, and then something else is pretty, and you knit that right away, and then, you know. I'm sure you know how it is. I may be preaching to the choir, but so I've got a lot of it. Actually, I don't even know if this is the same. Where's my glasses? I may have two different types of yarn here. It's just one looks kind of fuzzier than the other. Oh, you know what? That is good. Oh. Can you see the difference in the colors? This one looks lighter, but it's got the same twist to it. No, I'm pretty sure it's the same. I think. No, yeah, it's all the same. I think it is. No, yeah, it is. Okay. We're all good. We're all good. One's just a little lighter. But yeah, no, they both got the fuzz to them. Okay. All right. Phew. Which I don't really care. I'll use that one last maybe, or yeah, honestly, I don't care. So anyway, I have no idea what this yarn is, where it's from, what brand. I don't even know what mix. It's very soft. I would almost wonder if it's got some cashmere in it. It's very soft. So I'm doing that on 1/2, and then I have 2 sweaters quantity of this because I bought some of this. No, I think my husband, I had asked for my husband to get me some of this for Christmas, which he did. And then for some reason, I put it in one of my like boxes like this. And then when I was ordering some more yarn from Knit Picks, because it was their sweater sale time, I thought, oh, I really wanted that barn door heather. And in my head, I was thinking that my husband had gotten me a different color because I had kind of given him a list of different colors that I liked. So I went ahead and I bought a sweater's quantity of this. So I had 2 sweaters quantities of that. So I thought, well, I'm not probably going to make 2 sweaters, you know, out of the same color, which sounds stupid when I realize how many of my sweaters are brown. But so I thought this was, plus I love gray and red together. So that's what I'm doing. I feel like a really long explanation. Interspersed with a little, oh my god, I have mixed yarn. I don't. I think actually, you know what? Now that I see them in the thing, I think it was just the lighting. So I have cast on. I'm probably about, let's see here. I think I'm on like my 8th row. And really, you basically just repeat the 2 rows. Hang on. There. Until you have done all of the short rows. So the short rows will kind of continue all along until you get to this end. And then I think once that happens, you, that's when you switch your colors. And then do whatever they tell you to in the pattern, which I don't know what it is because I haven't read that far ahead. But I did watch, because Caddy Jacks, they had some tutorials, because I'm not doing the patterns to do wrap and turns, and I hate wrap and turns. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it German short row. But I always have to watch a tutorial right before I do the German short rows because I always get confused. And then once I see the tutorial, I'm like, I don't know why I was confused. It's so simple. But I also was kind of reading the pattern and I was like, I think I understand, but I was having a hard time picturing it in my head. So they actually had a tutorial on there showing you how to do the short rows and kind of how the shaping would work. And they did it on like a little mini square like that to show you. So the tutorial was really good. So if you're not sure and you want to do German short rows instead of the wrap and turns, it kind of tells you how to do that. But this is just so mindless. It's going to be huge. But this yarn is so soft, and the stroll tweed, of course, is always so soft as well. So I think this is going to be, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's really nice. I'm looking forward to actually just having something mindless other than a pair of socks, because, you know, vanilla socks are pretty mindless, but sometimes you just want like something long and just garter stitch. So that is that one. And this is in my, no, it's my needle craft. My needle crafts. I always put the S in the wrong word. My needle crafts. I got this a while ago. But I liked it because it's got like all the London and Paris. I miss traveling so badly. I could handle almost anything else with the pandemic and like being in lockdown, except for Christmas. I'm still bitter about that. But I miss traveling. I miss taking like, normally we go on a trip every 2 years. We're hoping to kind of make that every year if we can. But this would have been the year that we took our trip, and we were planning on going to London. That's not gonna happen. Clearly. So anyway, that's all the projects that I have on the needles. So I did a little shop update last weekend. So I've got a couple of new colorways. So this one here is Hope Springs. I love this. I didn't keep one of those out for myself, so I have to make more. And this is Chickadee, which I absolutely love. And I did keep some of this for myself. So there's still some of those left in the shop. I'm not sure how much. But there's also a little bit of earth left. There's one. This is it. This is the one sprout that's left. And there's a little bit of woodsy left in the shop. And a few other, there's a sock set, one sock set left. And I'm trying to think what else. There may be one mini bundle left. So there's a few things left in the shop. I am going to be doing some dyeing tomorrow. I have a couple of new colorways that I want to try. Here's something that I really want to do. So I had mentioned last episode that I was learning or kind of relearning how to read tarot cards, and I had picked up some oracle cards because I'm kind of kicking around a story idea, and that sort of will have that, I think, as part of the theme, but I'm not sure how it's going to factor into the story yet. Now I have the hiccups again. Anyway, so I picked up a couple of decks, and I already had like a couple of tarot card decks kicking around, and then I picked up one other, and then I got 2 oracle decks because I thought I didn't really know much about oracle decks. So I picked up this one, and it's called Enchanted Map Oracle Cards by Colette Baron Reed. And so the cards are just like stunning. I'm gonna put my glasses on so you can see it. So, you know, there's like each card has a different meaning, whatever. But the artistry on them is just phenomenal. Like, there's one, there's like the Gentle Gardener. This one's really cool. Ghostlands. Flying. Like, look at the colors in them are stunning here. Oh, I love this one. Dragon's Lair. Oh, this is really pretty. So I'm just like, I'm stunned by like the artistry in the pictures and the blend of the colors, and just the artistry. And it's just, I know I keep saying that, but I'm just like stunned by it. Anyways, I kept looking at these cards, and I was like, oh my God, like the blend of colors is just so inspiring. And then I thought, you know what? Oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite card. I really kind of wanted to pull like some of my favorite cards from the deck and then try to create colorways out of them. So that's something that I think, there's another one, Home, I'm gonna do, and just see, like, oh, they're just so pretty. Who knew? Like, one business would feed the other. So I really want to kind of try that out and see what happens. And see if I can kind of see what I come up with. So that, I think I'm going to pull one of the cards tomorrow and try and just kind of see what I come up with. So let's see what else has been going on. We were watching Umbrella Academy, so we kind of went through and we watched, I think I'm looking at the red dot again. We watched the first and second seasons and it was fantastic. I loved how the second season ended. So they are doing a third season, but I don't think it's going to be available until maybe end of this year. So we started watching, what was it called? The Unabomber in His Own Words. We watched that. That was, I think, just four episodes or 3 episodes. So that was interesting. There was a lot about that. Like, I mean, I can remember when it was going on, but it was like going on down in the States. So you'd hear about it like on the news, but it wasn't really something that was like happening in your backyard or anything. So you were aware of it, but there's a lot of details that, you know, I didn't know. And so that was really interesting. So then we started watching When They See Us, which is about the Central Park 5. And we watched the first episode, so probably watch some more of that this weekend. Oh my God, it was so maddening the way those kids were treated. It was just like, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch because you just get so angry. But at the same time, it's also really well done. And the kids in it are fantastic. So it's really well done and definitely worth watching. And again, it's one of those things that it happened. I remember when it happened, but there's all the details that, you know, you didn't know. So it's really, it's interesting to watch, but it's incredibly maddening and frustrating to watch. Knowing, you know, kind of seeing what these kids went through, and I'm only on episode 1. So, and I think, I can't remember how many episodes they are. It's a limited series. It might just be 4, maybe? Might be more than that, but it's really good. Definitely watch it if you haven't. And then, what else? Oh, we started watching, anytime I'm watching something serious, I need something kind of funny to balance it out. So we started watching, we'd finished watching, not Parks and Rec, we watched that before, Community, which the first 4 seasons of that were phenomenal. And then the 5th season was kind of, the last season, if you're watching it, I would strongly suggest you either stop at the end of the 4th or the 5th season. Don't watch the 6th season. It's not going to have a satisfactory ending. It's like every episode you're just like, what was the point of that? Which was a shame because I love the characters and it was a really good show. And then it just went to hell in a handbasket in the last season. So anyways, we finished watching that because I was like, told my husband, I have to finish watching it because I kept hoping that the last episode would be like really, really good just to kind of cap it off. And it wasn't. It was horrible. So, you know, so we've started watching Superstore, which is really good. It's got America Fiera and Mark McKinney from Kids in the Hall, and what's the guy's name? It's got so many people in it, and they're all really good. So that's, I think, 6 seasons to it. So that'll keep us going for a little while. So that's sort of like what I call my palate cleanser. If I'm watching something really serious or something that's it's making me angry and losing faith in the human race, then it's good to have kind of that palate cleanser. So that is about everything that's going on. I'm kind of slowly getting back into doing my regular workouts, which feels good. I just volunteered at work to be on the Wellness and Fitness Challenge I don't know, group to organize that. I guess I figure that'll help keep me going. And that is about everything. So I'm going to get this edited and get it uploaded tomorrow. And I will leave all of the information for the knit a sweater in 2 weeks KAL down below in case anybody is partway through a sweater that they started after February 1st and wants to enter. Feel free, jump in. It's on Ravelry, but we also are doing it on Instagram if you're not on Ravelry. And I'll leave all the links, social media links, all that stuff down below. That's about it. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll get this uploaded for tomorrow and see you in a couple of weeks. And until then, happy knitting. Bye.